Friends, welcome to the first part of Battletech of the Endosteel episode 4, 3028. Hopefully, this is recording correctly. Some test recordings earlier did not include my voice, which would make the entire episode very difficult. However, I think I've solved it, but if I didn't...
You're coming in loud and clear to us, buddy.
It's not Zoom. It's
on Zoom.
It's the recording that's the problem. I think we're good. All right. So several things from the last episode. You may have noticed there was a brief but violent hiccup last episode in regards to Pendragon. I had forgotten when I decided to add Pendragon to this system how incredibly deadly it can be for mothers and children. Removing a lot of the children die a horrible death from the system. So Maya Hiroka has been born and there's no issues there. However, maybe there's more issues than you will have a childhood illness. In that regard, it should also be noted that this was a great year for noble children with the birth of Maya Hiroka, Triton Bassett, Athena Menshikov, and Angus McDougall, all within like a 6-month period of each other. So those are some big numbers we're posting up there.
It's good. We need to bring back the nobility of Whittington. That's our job.
Seppuku line is definitely not helping that regard. But
we try not to talk about that. The other thing I forgot was to choose which noble house would run the Kerensky Ball, making a random roll. Angelique Latour will be taking that responsibility this year.
Oh, thank God. I never want to run it.
Again, you mean?
Yeah.
No, I've never done it.
Oh.
That was me.
Oh, the wedding.
Kuro. Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, all right.
Kuro also paid for.
Yeah. Big money there. No whammies.
Yeah, I've thrown it and Kuro's thrown it.
I mean, this is the explanation as to why the Seppuku family hasn't necessarily, been able to get a leg up financially.
So, when we previously left off, there was a conversation to be had. Now, just to note, you found this mysterious signal from space. It is responding to your Star League era broadcast ping. But it's not like you can just grab all of your mechs today and jump on a dropship and fly out there. You're going to have to get a flight plan. You have to get a dropship captain with probably salvage equipment, which doesn't exactly grow on trees here. So it's going to be a few weeks. But you made a call. You have a conversation. Let's pick up there. I believe I cut Sam off in the middle of a sentence. I don't remember what that sentence is.
It's usually a solid golden rule.
You were going to inform them of what you had found. So maybe let's pick up from there.
Yeah. So we were on a call, or we were all like in the same place. I can't remember.
Set the scene however you want.
It was a call.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because it was like.
But your call can be, we should meet in person, and then we'll go meet in person.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So yeah. So like maybe like the next day, because like Lachlan's been making like furious plans overnight, but he wants to talk to Kuro and Jasper first. So he'll ask them to meet. I guess just like somewhere at his place, or like he would like go meet them wherever. But he's like really clearly very excited, and like you guys have like barely even like gotten in the door and sat down before he's like, I found something. Xenia found it, really, but it was my idea. Well, it was both of us. We found something. It's a big thing.
Spit it out, Lachlan.
How's your history, both of you? Military or otherwise?
I mean, it's pretty sharp. I lie.
So he'll say, well, I'm sure you've heard the term Castle Bryan before.
Of course.
Yeah, well,
they're all through military history, and I exposit what they are.
Yeah. It's like,
for the audience.
We have potentially stumbled upon an opportunity to find mechs left over from the Star League Defense Force. And the really incredible news is the site that Xenia's been able to find with her equipment seems to be in system. I've already begun making plans. Yes.
Wow.
I need your help. I can't, there's no way I'm going to be able to salvage this site alone. Who knows what's going to be up there, but in every story I've ever heard about these places, there's countless defenses, automated guns, and ancient Gauss rifles.
Suiciding nuclear drones.
Exactly.
That sounds pleasant.
But if we can get through all of that and we can find any kind of mech technology, it would be the greatest military asset that Whittington has ever had.
This could turn Whittington from a backwater to a great power.
Exactly. Exactly. But
who else knows about it?
As far as I know, just us. But that's why we need to go quickly as possible. I only have the my militia, and the Black Knight. I don't have much to bring with us. I know
I could potentially bring Anko, my cousin. She is a pilot herself. And I do have the Firestarter and the Raven in addition to the Grasshopper.
Excellent. That's a start. That's a start. In theory, we could use. I could talk to Xenia about using the Phoenix Hawk. Maybe. I suppose that's an option. Jasper, what do you think? Are you?
I mean, how can I say no to such an opportunity? This is a find of a lifetime.
It's amazing. I'm still cannot believe this is happening.
We're gonna need to schedule a drop ship. We're gonna need salvaging supplies. This is gonna take weeks.
Yes, I've already started working on it. I've got plans in motion, but you're not wrong. It's not going to be quick. I did have one idea. It's a little bit of a interesting play, but it could help us both on the timeline and with the force aspect. I have been in pretty good contact with Sir Irwin, and this is a unique opportunity for the Lake family. They did lose a lot of military assets during the bombing and are in desperate need of resupply in that.
And politically, that would also gain us much favor.
It would, in theory, and I'm just saying, while we may have to give up a share if it's not just the three of us, I'm worried that alone we simply don't have the force to crack this particular nut. And of all of the people that we could get involved and that would be useful, I think from a cost-benefit analysis, the Lake family is far ahead.
I mean, please, of course. I mean, if we can't have it ourselves, then the fairest thing to do is it should go to our liege.
Exactly.
We are bound by them by oath.
Now, the most important thing here is that Bassett doesn't find out and that Jacobson doesn't find out, because they are the only two people who possibly have the resources to scoop this out from them.
I feel like at that mention, Kuro will there's someone that's maybe an attendant of Kuro's. He'll step aside to that attendant and like whisper in their ear, and they'll rush off and just like start enacting some way of like making sure that Bassett doesn't find out, or at least delays them significantly of finding out any kind of information. So like just keeps an eye on Bassett.
How long would it take to get a probe out there?
Almost as long as it would take to get out there. Right, and it'd be very unusual to send a probe out, right? There's nothing stopping people from tracking objects in space. If
probe blows
your
up,
wife received the signal, then everybody else could receive the signal. If you send a probe out there, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, this system has been inhabited for like 600 years. Why are you sending a probe out there?" maybe we should be looking out there too.
We
So
need
I just want to let you know that those are concerns. However, that said, buying a probe is fully within your capabilities as nobles. You have more than enough money to arrange for this to happen.
One idea perhaps is, instead of simply sending a probe ahead of us, we could send a probe soon before we leave, so that way we have at least a time period before we arrive notice of what we may expect.
or even bring the probe with us.
Yes, and launch it.
No, we should go to Sir Irwin first.
I agree.
I agree.
If we approach Sir Reincolt with this find, we can ask for I don't know what the word would be, salvage primacy, right? Like we have like by rights of it.
Does he have? I guess this would
it's
be
no
more
longer
of
a race, because anyone honorable would follow Sir Reincolt.
Yeah, I guess.
You met
Hey, look!
Sebastian
My
Bassett.
naivete is entirely in character. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I understand.
I think
Yeah.
Lachlan kind of like he's like, yes, I still think time is of the utmost importance here.
Question for
Honor's
you.
well and good, but I have a king crab. So, how much?
And I have a grasshopper.
What's the distance on honor?
So-
what's the damage profile of honor? I don't.
Here's the thing you all
Interesting.
aren't considering in this situation. You're worried about other nobles claim jumping you from here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You should also be worried about people like Interstellar Expeditions who are third party, not aligned with any great house, but are known for digging up finds. Snords Irregulars are a mercenary unit who specifically take contracts where they can creatively acquire ancient artifacts as part of their job. So like if they defend a planet that has a Star League museum, you can basically guarantee that museum will be damaged in the fighting and several items will be removed mysteriously. And people just realize that's part of doing business with them.
On that note, would Kuro be able to legally ask for like any movement towards Whittington from like expeditionary retreat groups or like
The
investigative
person
groups
you would
like
need
that?
to ask is Audrey Lafayette.
Okay, so she would
She
have like
runs
kind of eyes.
planetary
She has
security.
eyes
Yes.
on the sky, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Even the military uses her early warning systems.
Yeah.
So.
But one way to do this would be Sir Reincolt ordering that we have primacy, or Whittington, like the Whittington, the planet has primacy, and basically issuing an injunction to any ship inbound into the system, being like, you can't fucking come here.
That won't necessarily stop it, and it'll like flag it.
But it's casus belli for us to blow them like the fuck up.
Correct.
Right.
That's fair.
But it's
Which
also
is what
sending
you
a
need.
flag up saying, hey,
Yeah,
there's
I
something
just don't
valuable.
like
Yeah, which means you don't fucking come here.
I don't like the idea
Right now.
of calling any attention to it until
Yeah.
we're there.
I think
Okay.
I think like if there are people that are
But-
coming, then Sir Private Reinhardt may make that claim specifically to those people. It's like we have claimed privacy of this of the things within our space.
Right. Yeah.
Coming here
I'm
at
just
your
worried
own
that
risk.
calling
Sir Rein-
attention to it is always going to be worse than.
Yeah, but
any
Sir
offense.
Reincourt's gonna be really butthurt if we don't. Like
we can't.
we're already not in his good
Lachlan
graces.
Lachlan is still wants to go to him, right? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was like
That should be the first thing. Okay, so we've decided.
But not like for like
It is
a
decided.
big announcement, more like for like we need help. You may want to keep this hush hush too, so that somebody off Whittington doesn't get it.
Yeah, we talked to him privately.
Yeah. So how about this?
Cool. We should do that first.
Let's shift the scene where we've invited him to our space of like.
No, we
the
go to
Broken
his
Sword.
space. No. We got his. He would have the best security, right? Like being like the Lord.
Okay.
Lachlan will bring the sword.
No, we would go to the place with the best security. I'm sorry, I misspoke. And you know what? When it comes to security measures, we should listen to our player of Kuro, who is an intelligence officer, about where the most
Exactly.
secure places are. And so I'm sorry for speaking up. We should do. What
No. It's okay. It's okay. I was gonna ask AP. Yeah. Would I know? where would be the best place for us to have this conversation if we wanted to have almost zero prying eyes?
I mean, zero prying eyes is a tall order. There are several places you could go where you couldn't be overheard, but it's going to be fairly difficult for so many high-ranking nobles to meet without somebody going, "Hey, why are all these nobles meeting?"
Yeah.
It's not on the schedule.
I feel like if you just go to like meet.
One of the top places you could theoretically arrange it at is to have everyone meet at the Ryukon, which is a private establishment. People go there all the time for lunch.
A business lunch.
It wouldn't be unusual for Sir Reincold to accidentally have lunch at the same time the three of you are also having lunch.
Yeah, that would work.
Or to have lunch even with us.
Right. Get your teams working on discussing agricultural tariffs.
Yeah.
As like a.
I mean, we are the Oath of Endosteel, so
Lachlan
it's like
also like has been spending a lot
Shield.
of time with Sir Irwin.
Yeah, the
like
Shield.
that's
We are the
not
Shield.
unusual, right? Like that's like been established. That
Right.
Sir Irwin.
we are literally
What I'm
the
saying, our cover story. Our cover story is agricultural tariffs. Right.
we are literally the shield and sword of Whittington at this time.
So you guys are headed to a place to rest
Ryukon.
your sword? All right, so as usual, there are many ads that block your path along the way. So the first ad has the actor playing Riordan Sordid, the prince's best friend in Pride and Royals. He goes, "The prince has been replaced by an evil clone," and everyone goes, "No!" And the clone goes, "Ah, gasp!" And a young William Shatner-ish person is playing the prince, so he goes, I'm evil, a hideous creation of the dark sciences of the Capellians. I must be stopped!" And he pulls out like a bomb detonation trigger with his right hand, but his left hand is trying to stop himself from putting it, and he goes, "Please, someone, kill me!"
I'm programming.
And someone else screams, "He's got a bomb!" And then the narrator goes, "Explosion. A campus," and he says the word explosion as an explosion happens. "A campus in ruins." And in the background of this scene, it's the trailer, right? You get a brief glimpse of someone none of you expected to see on camera as like a, not main character billing, but Tamari Hiroka with her signature pink hair is in the background talking to the Archon Designate of the show. So she must have been like either an extra or like a small part actress in the upcoming season. A campus in ruins, lovers torn apart, nothing will ever be the same. And the question on everyone's mind is, where is the real first prince? Our lead actor is standing before a young woman in a flower shop with a medical eye patch and gauze around his head. "I'm sorry, but I don't remember who I am. I don't remember anything, really. But what I know is that you are the singularly most divine being I've ever seen." And he offers her a flower and says, "Please join me for dinner tonight, won't you? Pride and Royals, Season 3, tonight."
It's so good.
These ads, man. These ads.
Listen. We're not even done with the ads. Now the second ad starts.
That is, you know what? That's actually like pretty tame as far as like K-dramas go.
That's fair. Yeah, that is fair.
He's hunted down pirates, defeated the dragon, clashed in the kingdom, but now he faces his biggest threat yet. And we see like a commando Battlemech like running across an open plain, clearly shots from season 1 of this show as he takes on pirates. Then season 2 facing down Draconis Combine, the prequel movie where he dragon clashes in the Kingdom of Ice. Immortal Warrior, Season 3, Freedom Isn't Free. And then there's a bunch of bullet holes through the logo of the show. When the cowboys of the new intendancy of New Spain revolt against Free World League rule, one man must do whatever it takes to bring peace to 2 realms. Warriors aren't born immortal. Dun, 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 dun. They're forged in the fires of war. Dun, 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 dun. And the flames of revolution. Ricardo Hunt is the Immortal Warrior. Returns. Brought to you commercial free by Jacobson Unlimited.
Oh my god.
Hey, Jacobson, getting their name out there.
Jacobson Unlimited makes everything.
Yeah. I kind of feel like there's definitely a side conversation as we're walking to the Ryokon about like, I'm curious about the third season.
I'm curious why my wife is in it.
Yes.
Is in Pride and Royals.
Yeah, are you all admitting to each other that you watch Pride and Royals now?
Haven't we watched
I think we have like the awkward glance. No, we've not watched it together. Jake,
Wait, didn't we?
I
no.
think you guys have watched it before, but you were always just like, it's
watched it in
just
our
on
pajamas.
before Mortal Warrior.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're very comfortable in our masculinity.
No, not at all. It's terrible.
Yeah, Lachlan will be
Normalize watching non-masculine shows.
Well, also wasn't like Lachlan got like a bit part in like some bullshit propaganda video.
Yes, yeah,
Oh right.
in the film.
Yeah, Lachlan would just be like, "Is that? Wait a minute. Was your wife in the commercial?"
I believe that was Tamari.
Yeah, that was definitely. I know my wife, and that was Tamari. And yes, I am just as shocked as you all right now. I don't even like the show. That's so weird.
Well, I mean, it's
Insight check.
Wait, yeah, insight check.
It's a well shot show. It has a lot of good. The writing is pretty good, but I cannot stand.
Look, I'm not saying it's. I watched the show, but I have seen a few shots, and it's the historian in me has to appreciate some of the accuracy. They do work on those touches.
I understand. Sam doesn't want to admit that he watched Downton Abbey and liked it for the story. Historically accurate.
I've never actually seen any of Downton Abbey, but
You're missing out. The first few seasons are really good. Then it gets fucking weird.
The way they portray how scummy the Capellians are is very, very accurate.
Yes.
Super accurate. Look, I've been to Capellian space. I mean, yeah.
Kuro's like, I
bring
can't talk
vehicles to
about
mech
that.
fights.
I can't talk about that time I stole a Capellian mech. Capellian prototype.
I don't know what you mean. Nothing happened.
As you all are walking, there's a news report indicating that there has been political upheaval in the factionalization of Whittington. What we were formerly called the War Faction are now calling themselves the Robinsonists, and they list Kuro as being among their number. At least political commentators do. They vote his uncanny voting patterns and the way that he is consistently seen allying with them militarily. The Peace Faction are now calling themselves the Federalists, and they are counting, technically, Sebastian Bassett among their number. And people don't even mention the Oath of Endosteel faction anymore. Like, your voting patterns have been inconsistent, and each of you has such a tie to one of the two established factions that you're either considered independents or members of a faction already.
What is Lachlan considered?
Lachlan
Wild
is
card.
considered a Federalist.
Got it.
A lot of people consider Lachlan to basically be Satan, however. He's like the Nancy Pelosi of...
What? I thought that I was popular with the people because of all of the outreach.
You are
So does
popular
Nancy.
with businesses, but you've also increased military spending at a time where military funding from the federal government is being reduced. So all of that money for mercenaries is coming straight out of somebody's budget. And that's the budget of the people. So there's a lot of he's good for business, but he's bad for the people ads running about you. In fact, the only one of you that has come out of this smelling like roses is Jasper. Jasper Hiroka has like underground cults of people running positive ads for him and negative ads against his enemies. None of them are approved by Jasper Hiroka.
I thought I still had positive PR going for me.
Listen, it's not like you're absolutely 0% popularity, but you have made a strong case for business and a strong case for war, and that is not the most popular stance.
I think that history would say the opposite, but you know.
Well, And unfortunately, history is written by the winners.
All you have to do is win.
I mean, I'll just have to make another roll at some point to do more making people like me like I did last time. So we'll get there.
And I'm very curious because I've voted with the Peace faction or now the Federalist faction several times.
The thing to note is that it is assumed in the public tabloids that you have sent your wife away.
Oh, I've sent her away.
Yes, that is the current story right now. You know, dramatic front page at the supermarket is like it's a green screen of you doing something and a green screen of her doing something, and they've combined it to look dramatic, like you're throwing her out, essentially.
Oh, God.
Wife sent to Dela Cruz to think about her misdeeds. Kuro Seppuku.
Oh, Jesus.
Boy. Yep. Here's the thing I should note for you, good friend Sam, you're never going to make everybody happy.
Yeah. I mean, that's obvious.
No, I mean, yeah, but like you can have relatively high
You're polling at 40%.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Almost everybody at this table is polling at 40%, except for Jasper.
Look, I'm looking for like 80s Reagan numbers.
Okay, that's highly. The only person polling at that amount is the young Countess. When people are like, "Do you approve of the Countess?" and they're like, "Oh my God, she's so cute." Of course I do.
So what you're saying is that
her innocence
is leaning more into the fact that he's
genetically modify myself into a child.
Okay. No, he just,
okay, so you arrive at the restaurant.
He just needs to like get more pictures of like Halloween with him and the Countess.
We make our way to the Ryokon.
Yeah.
Sir Irwin is already there waiting. You are sat at his table. So Emil, the concierge, doesn't even ask like if you want to join your party to his. It seems like he's already down with this business. Your bug reporter indicates that it's being jammed as usual when you're in this place, because there's Starligera jamming equipment inside the building.
Oh right, they can jam his thingy.
Yep. Well, it's jamming everything, so.
Yeah, it's basically making it. That's why this place is relatively safe to have these conversations.
Sir Irwin is enjoying somewhat more Western affair than what this particular restaurant normally serves, which is a sort of fusion food. He's just eating what amounts to, I think it's called karage, but it's essentially like Japanese style chicken tenders. Yeah. With mustard and ketchup. And it looks like he's drinking the equivalent of a space Coca-Cola.
Excellent.
Wow. Highbrow.
He's a simple man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lachlan will like sit with him, and he's not gonna like interrupt him, but he'll like give him a minute, but he'll eventually will say
so he wipes his face off. At that time he gestures and they bring over 3 of Periphery Gold beers for each of you.
Excellent.
That's the
the beer of choice in Whittington.
It is a beer of choice in Whittington. It's produced right here on Whittington. Special recipe by Maximilian Jacobson himself. Brilliant billionaire philanthropist.
I feel like we should be getting royalties for this beer. Like all that work that we
got paid.
Should have negotiated that in the contract.
Yeah, we really should have. Man, we done goofed. We're like.
I mean, it's okay.
I
still have the blue collar. Company. I had the blue collar beer that I drink.
Yeah. So I guess. Go ahead, Carol.
Well, I was going to say, thank you for meeting us with us, Sir Irwin. Lachlan, please, the floor is yours.
He prefers Sir Reincolt, by the way.
Sir Reincolt. Oh, I'm sorry.
He told me to call him
all over the place with the name, so I apologize. But I think
so. He says it's fine. Please, just call me Irwin. You are my social superiors.
Irwin, I wanted to bring a rather unique find to your attention.
So he leans forward and says, "Is this about the lake bombing?"
It's not about the lake bombing, but it is
Just as
about-
explosive.
Wow.
is
That would be really
really
inappropriate.
bad. That'd be so bad.
Jasper.
Entire family killed, and you make a joke about it.
I feel like was that in
that's
character?
Eric shit posting. No,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
not
okay.
That's me shit
Because
posting.
Kuro was about to be like,
Definitely not.
Jasper.
But it is about potentially helping to return the Lake family to the power that they once had militarily. I believe that with Xenia's help, we've tracked down Castle Bryan as some sort of SLDF base. Now, the three
On
of
the
us
planet.
in system,
You mean on another planet or in space?
yes,
See.
but within the system of Whittington. And I believe it is potentially the greatest opportunity that we've ever had here. But the three of us alone, we simply don't have the type of military force that I've read is necessary to deal with this sort of thing. I'm not.
You don't have
kind
any
of expert.
aerospace fighters, so that would be a good starting point, yes.
No aerospace fighters. Between the three of us, I believe we only have 4 militias. We don't have tanks.
I think
All
you'll
we
find
really
that
have-
tanks and militia will not serve you well in space.
Indeed.
Their effectiveness will be greatly blunted. We will speak on the issue of tanks and militia at the end of this conversation, as I have had an interesting proposition come across my desk. If you wish to go to this place, why are you telling me about it? You want my support?
I want the support of the Lake family, and you, as the regent, are the one who can help me secure it. Like I said, I think this is a great opportunity for everyone involved, but I and the rest of the Oath of Endosteel has made the determination that it would be foolish to try to cut the Lake family out of it, as well as dishonorable.
I see. You wish to just inform me, or you want support?
We wish for whatever support the Lake family can give us. Of course, it would mean that whatever we find in this potential treasure trove of technological marvels would be split based on those who participated. Look,
We have a
ours-
dropship, Union class, that we can surely lend you. The 3 of you and your mechs. We can also hire some of those aerospace mercenaries that Audrey attracted to the planet. I would say 4 wing pairs, 8 aerospace fighters ought to be more than enough to escort you out to the site. I would suggest that we divide the loot as follows. 6 parts, 1 for the mercenaries, although I will pay their upfront fee. 1 for each of you and 2 for the House of Lake, specifically to go to the Countess's accounts.
Eric, you're muted.
No, I'm thinking it over. I'm not
Oh,
muted.
okay.
Man, that sounds reasonable. Can we?
I mean, he's staring down Lachlan, who's, looks unsure.
Lachlan is like,
Yeah, you're leading the negotiation, Lachlan.
you must
Yeah.
understand, as the finder, myself and Xenia, we were hoping to benefit in a way that would be more commiserate with the extra work we've done on the other side. Perhaps
We are offering the dropship. We are offering the aerospace fighters. If there is any defenses left at all, the aerospace fighters will be the ones to solve that situation.
How about this? I will help pay for the upfront cost of the mercenaries, and in exchange, we split the final share between the House of McDougal and the House of Lake, such that we each get 1.5.
So your final would be 1.5 to Lake, 1.5 to yourself, 1 to McDougal. I'm sorry, 1 to Hiroka, Spaku, and 1 to the mercenaries.
Yeah, so basically,
So it's still split 6 ways.
But it's basically 12 shares.
Yeah,
like out of 12.
Right. He's basically like proposing that like finder's fee is like commensurate with them like putting out more resources.
No need to make a roll on this. He agrees.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's like 12 shares, but like you and Lake are getting or Reincolt are getting 3 instead of 2.
3 instead of 2
per piece. Yeah.
Okay. He agrees to it and holds out a hand for you to shake.
Yeah, Lachlan shakes with a big grin, and he's like, we're making history here today, Erwin.
So your sushi arrives as like appetizers that he's ordered for you.
Nice.
With pre-wasabied soy sauce.
Oof.
Why?
That's just how they do it here.
I hate it.
Okay.
I do that here.
Wow, listen to these motherfuckers that don't like.
Wasabi.
No, it's
soy
just
sauce.
I like to do that myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't mix it around. That's weird.
They already know your personal preferences for these things. They're good at what they do.
All right.
So each of your soy dishes contains the statistically probable amount that you like to put on when you dip.
It's one on the side, so I can put it on top. It's not weird.
All right,
Okay.
Jasper, they bring that out specifically for you. They know your
yeah.
preferences. They've been tracking your food preferences at parties for like your entire life, so they know exactly what you want.
This Ryokon is they cater to you.
Okay, so the fix is in. He's ready to go up. He believes that in 3 weeks' time he'll be able to gather all the contracts necessary and keep a blanket silence on this operation.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Then he says, I have had a offer come across my desk from the Major.
Garcia.
Yes, she is interested in, well, allow me to start by saying you might have suspected military funding is down and training exercises have been somewhat depressed for both the Planetary Guard and the federal forces from the Davian House. It has been suggested that we pool our training budget and have a combined arms event to simulate a noble force encountering a planetary defense force. The military versus the noble guard, essentially, which will help both sides prepare for encountering the other. For our military, it prepares them for an invasion scenario where they are the aggressors, landing and engaging a Draconis Combine force. And for all of you, it prepares you to defend your home from a Draconis Combine attack led by regular military. I have agreed to this situation, and I would like to request that your noble guards take part in the training operation. It will be conducted by referees using low-powered lasers, rubber bullets, that sort of thing. But you could turn out your whole garrison, which I understand you've never had an opportunity to do.
I think this is a wise idea.
Seems good to me. I've never done anything like this before, really.
As someone who is not participating, Audrey Lafayette will be preparing the scenario for each group that is engaging. I understand that your side will be the aggressors attempting to capture a mobile headquarters unit.
Very well. Are there any sub objectives?
I assume you will learn more when you arrive on the battlefield. I am simply assigning you one of the potential slots that the Major has offered.
I've worked with the Major in the past in Lafayette. I think they will present us with a challenge.
I suppose it'll be time to see if all that military training that you two have had pays off when it comes to these sort of things. I'm quite looking forward to it.
And I can test the grasshopper that I acquired recently.
I'll test the crab.
Didn't you settle on the Atlas?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I did settle on the Atlas.
randomly
I rolled
rolled.
that. I randomly rolled it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll test Tamari.
Is she here?
The other Tamari. Cut to my hanger.
He looks really confused.
Dun 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 dun, Tamari. Bolted on the side of
That's
the.
what he named his atlas.
How? He just trails off.
Striking fear in the face of her enemies.
Imagine it being 3028 and you don't name your pride and joy mech. Imagine.
I don't have a name yet for the
I think
grasshopper.
when Lachlan finds out that you're going to be piloting the Atlas, there's like maybe this moment where he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to have the biggest mech."
I know it's like now both Jasper and Kuro have larger mechs than Lachlan.
Wait, is the Grasshopper assault class too?
Oh, no, I don't think it's.
I think it's
assault,
heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah, that's the same as.
I think it's a 75 tonner.
I actually have it up.
I think the Black Knight is also 75 tons. Yes, it is. Black Knight is. 75.
It's 70-10.
Oh, okay.
So about the same, but same class mech as the Black Knight then.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, good to bring out the boss.
The Large Boys.
All right.
I'm gonna get shot in the head.
When you,
That'd be so funny if one of us died in
that
the
actually,
training exercise.
listen, it should be very clear that Eric getting shot in the first round and dying instantly is something that has
Precedence.
happened on my other
On stream.
Battletech show. Yeah.
Yeah.
His Orion got headshotted in his first guest appearance.
By a Gauss rifle.
Yeah.
Oh my
Fortunately, he was playing the antagonist, so he had other mechs. But boy, did that change that whole battle up to lose a
Yep.
battle mech in the first. The heaviest battle mech in the
hilarious.
very first round.
Yep.
That's rough.
As you exit, there's a person waiting outside in the white and gold robes of Comstar. They throw back their hood, and it is Adept Falcom, who's the personal adept for House Hiroka.
Yeah.
And his face looks grave as he says, "Baron Hiroka, might I speak with you privately?
Of course.
Please come with
Sorry.
me."
Yeah, I say sorry to my friends, right? Like
So he like gets back in his space golf cart and begins driving you over to the hyperpulse generator compound.
sure. We're just in the fucking Epcot Center. Go ahead.
Yeah, right.
So we go to the compound.
He leads you into a private room and turns on some equipment and says, "My lord, there has been a message from your wife. She wishes you to know, well, I will allow you to view it and then I will come back into the room." So he leaves, and it's a message that Tamari is pregnant and that she's had the child. Now she can finally tell you that she's been on Pride and Royal. She's got a 3-episode guest arc where, you know, she plays a young pregnant woman at the college who doesn't know what to do, that she got pregnant, and, you know, like, that's the whole arc. Is the Archon Designate is like, I will help you through this. It turns into like a learning moment apparently, and it makes the Archon Designate look very good. But she doesn't spoil any of the storyline for you because she
Thank
wants
God,
to make sure that you
I would have
watch it.
divorced her.
Yeah. But yeah, she tells you that your daughter Maya has been born.
Oh, nice. So I have the moment of, I have like the interstellar moment where I'm like crying in front of the TV screen.
But when the message ends, the lights in the room come back on, and the adept knocks on the door immediately, like as soon as the message is over.
Yeah, come in.
He pours you a glass of water and says, "I'm afraid that the news is not all good, my lord."
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I am not a doctor, but doctors have analyzed your daughter's medical conditions. On New Avalon, they determined that she had a unknown genetic disorder. On Whittington, it affects 1 out of every 1 million people, so it's very rare to test for it, because the only people who would possibly want to test for it would be Mechwarriors and aerospace pilots, which are, as you might expect, on a planet of only a handful of 1 million people, quite rare. She has what's called golden weed syndrome. I'm afraid that should she use a neuro helmet to pilot a battlemech or an aerospace fighter, it will give debilitating feedback. It could slowly damage her nervous system. There is only one other person living on the planet right now that has this disorder, and they have been forced to retire as a battlemech pilot as a result. Sometimes it sits on late adult onset as the other person who suffers from it, but your daughter appears to have manifested it at birth. There are some rumors that back in the age of the Star League, the neuro helmets they used back then would be capable of bypassing this, but such technology has been lost, even with the light of Blake. I am deeply sorry for this news, my lord. I know that you surely... Comstar will do all it can to help you through this difficult time.
No, thank you. That's...
If you require more information, Comstar's medical services are available to you free of charge to have someone explain to you any additional details.
Yeah, I just heavy sigh as like at the end of the scene, because I'm just like thinking about it, ruminating that my firstborn is going to be unable to carry on the torch without some exceptional circumstances.
That leads to the three of you. Is there anything you want to do before the exercise? Now, apparently you've invited Lady Anko to join your side piloting a Raven. You also have your 3 infantry units, correct? Each of you is bringing 1 unit of militia.
Doesn't Eric have 2?
Does he have 2?
I have
militias. I have 2 militias and 9 train gunners.
Okay.
I have 1 militia
have
and
2 militia.
10 tankers.
Both of them would have to be in. Yeah. Okay.
I've got 8 and 1. So 8
I still
arms and 1 militia.
I still want to ultimately train my Akadi forces as like my Sardaukar.
Oh my god.
One day.
Yeah, I don't think it would need to happen before then, but at some point before we like launch off into space, I think Lachlan would want to talk to Xenia if she's like planning on coming.
Okay, so I think at that point you get your new tutor for Celeste, who is instilling in her noble etiquette, and it's tailored specifically for Celeste. Like, you must always obey the Countess, you know, do what you have to for the house. Not Menchikov, McDougal. Do what you have to for House McDougal, and then is running her through what is essentially like 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade mathematics and sciences. Celeste is just kind of porcelain dollish, accepting it all and doing whatever the tutor says. It's a lot like her mom, actually.
Interesting. And also worrying. That means she's going to be in charge in 20 years.
Xenia is kind of hovering around watching this happen, but not going into the room, but very clearly eavesdropping and like peeking around the corner while pretending to drink a cup of tea. So when you come in, she's dropped all pretense of the pretending, just kind of like looking in, making sure everything's going okay.
How's the new tutor?
I think, well, it's not how I was raised, but it seems fine.
Yes, well, if you have any notes, we can keep them in mind for when it's time to find someone for the twins.
Oh, I thought perhaps Celeste might help teach her siblings, step-siblings.
Well, of course she can, but yeah, I mean, they'll still need a teacher.
Maybe. I mean, Sebastian taught me.
How much? He's
That
only
has
like
been
4
listen.
years older than her.
That
right?
has been mentioned before that she was homeschooled
True.
by Sebastian Bassett.
That's true.
True.
But how much older is Sebastian Bassett than her?
Let's take a look at the wiki.
Not much.
It should be noted that Sebastian Bassett is a prime specimen of human evolution.
Now missing an arm.
True.
Listen, I don't want to hear that from you. You caused that situation. He's 7 years older than her.
Yeah, I think Lachlan will say, I don't mean to impugn on well, clearly it worked out great for you, but I don't know that all 7-year-olds make great teachers. Celeste can certainly help, but I'm not sure.
Well, he didn't start teaching me until he was 12, and
nonetheless, by the time Celeste is 12, I'm hoping that we can have her moving on to her own more advanced studies.
high middle school.
Yes, well, certainly middle school as opposed to teaching, which is a career for some folks.
Well, there are burdens that the nobility must bear for each other.
Of course there are. And there are burdens that we as nobles must bear for our children. I would think one of them
Oh, that's a
would
good
be
counter. Yeah.
providing them tutors.
Well, Celeste has her tutor. And her mother is very active as well. I think having two mothers is confusing her a little bit, but she's a good child.
Yes, I can quite understand. We can talk about the topic of educating the children later. I did want to ask you about our expedition.
Oh.
Yes, I've been making plans. It seems we've got the Lake family involved to provide some much needed assistance. These sort of places are usually heavily defended. I was wondering what your plan was.
Oh. I didn't realize I was going with you.
You do not have to if you don't want to. You found the damn place. I didn't want to assume.
I have to be honest, Lachlan, I don't think sending both parents to danger is a wise idea anymore. Look what happened to my family and yours.
I quite agree. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. How do you feel about if we can find a suitable pilot? I was initially going to suggest it be Malcolm, but unfortunately, well...
Yes, his passing was grievous.
Anyhow, how would you feel about someone using the Phoenix Hawk?
If you have a pilot, I have no objections to taking my family mech out and in defense of you.
Excellent. Excellent news.
Just know, Lachlan, it takes several weeks of training for someone to adjust their neural helmet to a new battle mech. So new pilot would say, you would all know about this. So it takes several weeks of hooking yourself into the mech and then like testing out movements before you have headaches the whole time and like horrifying migraines.
So no one would really have time to get.
If you got someone like today, right now, and got started, they could, and they worked full time, they would be able to work out the problems.
It's kind of why like Anko would use the Raven and I would use the Grasshopper.
Well, I mean, you guys have owned these mechs for months, right? Like in the background, you could have neurally imprinted on them at any time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, unless we have like someone specific that could pilot it in one of your houses, then I think we maybe just leave it behind.
Yeah.
So she takes a sip of tea and says, "Have you thought about an aerospace escort?"
I have indeed. We're going to be procuring it with the help of the Lake family.
Oh, I mean, I would have gone to Audrey.
Audrey's fighter is no longer in commission.
Oh, you didn't hear? Her new one's arriving very shortly.
I see. Suppose it's rather late to get her involved unless we want to divide shares up again.
I'd say she's the best pilot on the planet, and the new aerospace fighter is quite large. I understand it's the largest one built in the Federated Suns, 100 tons.
It's a big boy.
Yeah. I think Kuro would have, because he had already planned to talk to Audrey potentially.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're okay with it, Sam, can we do like a split screen where like at the mention of Audrey, like Kuro then has a moment where,
I mean, who's giving her shares? Like, that's the thing, right? That means cutting another person in.
yeah, I mean, I think part of it though is it could be part of her duty. I don't know.
No, her duty is not to run salvage operations.
Yeah, that's fair.
The United States Coast Guard does not escort you out to the Titanic.
I mean, because like she doesn't have as much of an escort as like, it's not like she's a replacement for the mercenaries. Correct.
Yeah.
It would be added on security. I mean, I'm open to it. I'm just curious, like.
Yeah, well, okay. So before we do any kind of scene for that in particular, it was an idea that I had to invite Audrey into this, also because.
Yeah, I mean, originally I had that idea. I was thinking about her originally as well, but I thought she wasn't going to have a.
Correct. So, for all that all of you knew, she did not currently have an aerospace fighter.
That's fair.
As mentioned, it's arriving, and just like a battle mech, she is going to have to adjust to it. I don't know if you know about flying aircraft, but having a migraine while flying an aircraft is usually pretty bad.
Sounds bad. Yeah.
Especially mid-combat.
Yeah. So, okay, well, if we were to discuss this at a side, like, are folks interested in inviting Audrey? Because she is a pretty dang good pilot. And we could suggest like her split go with the mercenaries.
I don't think the mercenaries are gonna like that.
Mercenaries are not gonna take a reduced cut.
Yeah, they're signing on.
The cut's going to have to come from us.
I mean, we only have one though. That's the thing. Is like it's not a lot. It's not a lot of to wiggle around with, unless you want to. Unless you want to give.
That's kind of like the problem of trying to cut somebody in at this point, because we've already made a deal with another group. I'm just like, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't see any elegant way to make this happen.
What if we were able to? Well, what if Erwin and yourself were to give that 0.5 to her? It's not necessarily beneficial to us, but it does improve our chances of coming out of this alive, right? Because one, she can potentially lead a squadron of the aerospace mercenaries as the better pilot and help us overall.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an idea. I'm putting it on the table, but
if Kuro had suggested to Lachlan, he would say he's down if Erwin's down. But I have a feeling Erwin's not going to be down because we already got him to lower his number once.
I mean, this is all.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, Erwin is not going to accept even less of a share so that you can bring one person along.
Okay.
Fair.
I mean, he's fronting half of the money for the mercenaries.
Yeah.
So. You're still in the middle of a conversation with your wife.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless you think that's finished.
Lachlan will just be like, I'll have to consider it. I have to talk to Kuro as well. I just don't see how we can bring another person in without blowing up the deal with Sir Erwin. Anyhow, I appreciate your help. Let me know if there's anything else you want to bring up as we get ready for this expedition. I'm also gotta go get ready for this training exercise.
Good luck. I don't have anything now. I'm just gonna keep looking after Angus. Keeps
Excellent.
falling off of things.
Oh, that's not great. All right. Goodbye, darling. Goodbye. I'll see you soon.
So as you're leaving, your business manager has a brief conversation with you. Your job assets program has brought many influential, it's bribes basically, but tax cuts, business opportunities to your house, all as a result of you championing this. Local businesses and interstellar compacts alike are both saying thank you in ways that are financially acceptable but ethically questionable.
Okay, that was my first question, was as long as the space SEC isn't going to come after me, we're good. Yeah. Lachlan is very much the type of person who's very okay with things being technically correct.
Yeah. One thing that is unusual is that your usual business ties are starting to dry up a little bit. The people who've donated to your political campaigns in the past, the people who normally send you bribes, it's not like it completely disappears, but now it's every 2 months instead of every month.
So it seems like somebody's unhappy with Lachlan.
It would seem as if a large group of your prior supporters are closing the faucet.
Gotcha. Is there anything like off the top of my head that I can think of that would be like a why for that? Or
yes, you can certainly make a politics roll.
I would love
or
to
leadership.
Do that. I would love to do that. I think my politics is slightly better. Actually, no. My no politics is slightly worse than my leadership. I have 5 total in leadership and 4 total in politics. So
I mean, politics is going to be an easier roll, lower
it is?
difficulty.
Okay, well, let's
yeah, it's
do
a
that
12.
then.
So.
All right. So this is with a +4 then. Oh!
Wow, snake eyes.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Yeah, I figured you might. That 1 in 36 chance of totally bombing. You got what you needed.
14.
So, you know that your political career has been, for better and for worse, tied to Sebastian Bassett. And this might be Bassett's passive-aggressive way of letting you know he's not happy about what happened in the last Senate session.
Got it. So it's Bassett's
people who previously donated to both of you are now mostly donating to him directly.
Got it. Nope, that makes perfect sense. Okay, cool.
And you would know that Bassett wanted you to know this, but not in a way that you could accuse him in a court of law of doing anything, right? Like, this is a very minor check on your power to just basically say, hey, we had a deal. I don't feel like I'm getting my part of it.
Yeah, it's a very, like, noble...
So now you don't get your part of it.
Yeah, it's a very, like, noble way of kind of, like, going after each other. I'm into it. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Lachlan will file those things away as things he's got to deal with after this, and we'll move along.
Now, the one thing I believe you mentioned is you wanted to have a sit down with Angelique Latour and figure out what's going on there.
That is definitely something I wanted to do, but I feel like
we should break up the scenes.
Yeah, break up the scenes a little bit, because we've been getting a lot of Lachlan speechifying at people.
So for you, good man Hiroka, your wife will not be coming back this summer in order to account for her surprise pregnancy and her movie career, she had to let go of some of her classes, and so she's taking summer courses to stay on her 2-year class schedule. And it's also not safe to bring a child onto a dropship and ship them through space.
Sounds right.
At this time. So Maya's going to need to be a little bit older before she comes back from New Avalon.
Oh, not going to hold my little baby girl? Okay.
No, but you get a lot of pictures, which is super expensive.
It's not the same.
That's what it's for.
It is not the same. It's true. It's not the same. Maybe we get you looking at the pictures as Mr. Mister's Broken Wings plays.
I mean, obviously...
His broken wings as you put your hand on the screen.
Yeah, because I mean, I know we got to do this thing, but I'm like, how expensive, how hard would it be for me to sneak out to go visit?
There's time. There's a time it takes to travel to New Avalon.
I know.
You could arrange for the dropship travel. Sure, but it's going to take you months to get there and then months back.
That's what I mean, I can't. Yeah.
You have an oath.
Yep.
Among other things.
Sign a contract. We have a treaty.
Yeah.
I know.
Little Hamilton for you.
But I have a child, so
yeah.
Counterpoint.
Sounds like Jasper
sucks
just
being a
kind of
noble.
like
Just
bummed
sucks.
out a lot. It's like this summer is just like a lot of Lachlan just like being like very rightfully down in the dumps, right? Just like bummed out that his family's on New Avalon.
So, in addition to that, your interior decorator has begun creating, like playrooms and all that stuff and toys. And you have been introduced in the same way that Lachlan has to the world of Triformers Power Force, the most popular kids show.
It's a great show.
In the 11 under bracket.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about how crap it's gonna be having to tell my kid that they can never ever pilot a mech.
Ooh, that's rough. Or
Yeah, it's gonna be
aerospace
tough.
pilot.
Yeah.
They can become a
tough.
tanker, no problem though.
Oh, good. Better get
That's a man that's out there. He's like a Shrek PPC carrier. What's that cost? An arm and a leg?
Yep. Anything for my baby girl.
SM1. That's what he needs. Yeah, is there anything you want to do to prepare your estate and your family for the arrival of Maya? It's okay for the answer to be no, because your people will handle this to some extent, right?
Yeah. But there's nothing. I don't think there's really anything else to be done.
Well, I think at some point Davies is definitely going to pull you aside with cigar and whiskey.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, his family has served your family for generations, so
Yeah.
his grandchildren was born recently. Now you've got a child. He spends the whole time. I mean, this is a dude who's been working in a mech bay his entire life. He's like 6'1", built all with solid, compact muscle, and he is sobbing at the table over the whiskey, crying. He's just like, I'm so proud of you. You've really carried on the family legacy. I've been waiting for this for so long. After your parents died, I was worried. House
Edward,
Davies, House Hiroko, we've been together forever. He's like shaking you. My lord! I'm so happy!
Well, then that's why I can trust you with this in confidence. Now I'm going to describe the
Golden weed syndrome.
golden lead.
Weed.
Wheat. Oh, yeah.
Weed. Yeah, I mean, he looks a little shocked, but he says, I understand how that must be for you, my lord, but none of my children are mech pilots. You will find life continues without Battlemechs, and I know that's strange for a man who spends every day working with them, but a Battlemech is not family. A Battlemech is not a child.
No, but my family's duty requires piloting a Battlemech.
You can
and
have
my child
more children,
cannot perform that duty.
my lord.
Yeah, but this is my first. She was supposed to set the example.
Yeah, I think he takes a long drag of the cigar to center himself, and he says,
Yeah.
I can only assure you, my lord, there is life beyond Battlemechs. Your daughter will one day be served by my children and my children's children. Whether we serve her as a Battlemech pilot or whether we serve her in fixing her siblings' Battlemechs, we will still ensure her safety and security.
Good. And
House
perhaps
Davies will always serve House Hiroka faithfully.
Thanks, Edward. And maybe we can use this last hangar space here for Demolisher or Shrek or something for her.
I will find someone who is knowledgeable about tank. We will get one of my children trained in tank repairs immediately. My youngest son is in his 20s. It's time for him to take tech lead himself on something. We will train him to become a heavy tech.
Excellent. Now, there's something else I want to talk to you about.
All right. Well, first he calls his wife and is just like, find him and trade. And she's like, are you drunk? Are you drinking right now? Do you know what? It's after 9 p.m. You have a grandchild, old man. It's time for you to. He's like, woman, be silent.
Oh, God.
I need you to pay attention. Find the youngest child, our child, not the grandchild. We have to talk tomorrow. It's tank time. She's just like, you're drunk. We're gonna have a discussion when you come back. Man, rest assured.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm with the noble lord right now. Okay, honey? Noble lord. Here, Jasper, say something.
Wow.
Hi. I'm so sorry about him. I don't say that out loud, but I am.
After several more minutes of conversation,
I text her.
Yeah.
I can't. It's not in the fiction, but yeah.
You send her an
write
email,
I'll write her
electronic mail.
a BBC. Yeah, I write her a BBC message, being like, "Hey, about last night. Listen, he was really drunk and out of line, and I'm really sorry." And I did have a discussion with him about it, but I also want to talk to him. And because I'm also probably drinking a little bit too, but probably not as far as Edward has gone. I'll let slip about the plans with him. I feel confident I can.
Plans
trust
to go
him.
to space?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, my lord, I will prepare your Battlemech for as soon as the military exercise has ended. I will prepare your mech for a conversion to space combat.
Good.
We will need to attach electromagnets to your legs so that you won't go floating anywhere.
Should I bring Tamari out?
Well,
I've kind of sworn to
if
keep it here on.
Your wife
on
is an
Whittington.
aerospace pilot. Oh, I'm sorry, the Battlemech.
Look, it's going to be awkward for a little bit, but after we're long gone, it's going to make a lot more sense.
I suppose, my lord. Certainly, your family has occasionally had unusual names for their mechs. I remember Golden Thunder quite well. Grandfather's gold-painted Battlemaster is very unusual.
Golden Thunder.
I'm just glad it wasn't Golden Rain.
Wow. All right, so yeah, he gets prepared to do all that.
Are Battlemasters the one with the machine guns in the legs? They get blown up.
I don't. Well,
is that a
there's a
different
lot
mech?
of Battlemaster variants because it's one of the most
Assaults,
popular mechs.
right?
So the thing
Yeah.
about the Battlemaster is it's a. I understand that it's a really optimal mech because it has the most armor you can possibly mount on a battle mech, which is generally considered the highest level of optimization.
Oh, interesting.
It does have 2 machine guns.
Okay, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
But how many AC-20s does it have?
0.
Zero.
It's PPC
So
6
useless
medium lasers,
garbage.
2 machine guns, and an SRM-6.
Oh, the SRM-6.
One is they're both in the left arm of the Battlemaster. The machine
Okay.
guns, not the legs.
There's some mech with machine guns in the legs.
I mean, Grasshopper can get machine guns everywhere. Grasshopper machine gun is the ridiculous fucking...
The DACA hopper.
Yeah, no, it's in the Battletech video game. Like machine gun Grasshopper is one of the most powerful battle mechs for close combat because it's just if you punch open any hole in the mech and you follow it up with like 12 machine gun shots.
Okay.
Utter destruction.
At what age do kids start meching? It's fairly uncommon for children to get neural imprinting because, of course, it absolutely messes with your brain, right? You're talking about giving headaches to a child, but around 16 is when most military training academies begin.
Yeah, they probably start training.
That means
like,
you probably don't get put in a mech until you're 18 to 21.
Until your brain has basically stopped developing, like to its adult size. Yeah, all that good stuff.
One thing about battle mechs that's nice is that they are not conducive to child soldiery, unlike many other weapons.
Like so many animes out there.
Anything you want to do, Kuro?
There was a moment where I wanted to reach out to Jana,
okay,
but I don't know.
You can send her a text or video message on Dela Cruz.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Kura's going to do a video, and I think it's going to be one of those videos where it's kind of like a check-in, but a little bit cold, you know, in the sense that
not going to take the distance to repair your relationship, huh? Okay.
No. I mean, it's like an awkward coldness where it's like it's one of those things where it's like I don't know what to say. I hope you're well, and I wish you safe. I know that you are going to be in a space, even with the diplomacy, that danger is afoot. And like probably like do some sort of thing where he awkwardly talks about something to keep herself safe and like to make sure that you do this, like intelligence kind of thing where he nervously goes on a little bit of a tirade and tries to keep it short because he knows it's expensive to, but anyway, rather than going into like the specific scene, that's kind of what Kuro would do, is send a video showing his concern for his wife and wishing her a safe return.
Okay. Can you make a what did we determine that the version
of relationship?
Yeah, persuasion. It's called something else, but
negotiation.
Maybe
leadership.
Definitely not leadership.
Streetwise. Acting. Oh Jesus. Oh, I'm not lying.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It might be negotiation. Let me
Is
take
it
a
gunnery? Are we sure it's not gunnery?
Please stop. I know you know that's wrong. Kills list is on page 71 in the new book. That's why I keep getting it wrong, because I'm looking in the old one. I will take negotiation or acting.
Did I toss something into acting last time? Didn't I? I did. Yeah, I didn't write it down on my skills list, but yeah, I did do that. Okay, let's see. Well, they're at the same. I could boost my skill because I do want to get better at this. So, let's see. Charisma. My charisma is currently at 2. Well, to make it simple for now, and I'll maybe like the roles will be the same ultimately, but I'll see if I want to spend more XP or not. But I'm gonna boost this by 1, and I'll figure out the XP spend later.
Okay. Which one are you boosting?
Well, okay, so I think for me it would be negotiation.
Okay.
Because I'm not lying. I'm trying to be truthful.
Well,
and
I'm going to be
honest.
clear that acting here won't necessarily be about lying, but it'll be about evoking those feelings that you're unable to put into words.
Let's do that. Let's do acting then. I like that. Okay. And I may boost my charisma, which then would boost both of them anyway. So
Sure.
it's either way. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna roll for acting, and it's let's see. So it's 2d6.
You got this.
So I'm gonna get a +4 on the roll.
Okay, difficulty is 13.
All right. 13. Jesus. You always like to throw. What the fuck? That's 3 on the dice.
Yes, it is.
You want to reroll?
Does lucky play into this?
Lucky is only when you're in your battle mech.
God damn it. All
So
right.
have edge.
I do
You
have
have
edge
edge.
and plot points.
Those are only from the men. Oh wait, I never.
Yeah,
know.
so I'm gonna use my
I don't know
edge.
how
All right. Well, that's a 7 + 4 is an 11.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's not 13.
Your feelings don't get across in a video message with your. I hesitate to use the word estranged.
Oh, jeez. Is there any way that I could boost this?
You just used your method of boosting it.
The edge is the only thing.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating. 'Cause,
Relationship on the
that
rocks.
one, I know. It's always so high with the rolls. Okay. Well, I tried.
So you get a return message. She's in a. Gosh, I don't know how to describe these things, but she's in a swimsuit, but she's got one of those like gauzy, filmy, like shawl things going
Veil?
on. Sure, and like but it's just over the shoulders, right?
Okay.
Like a giant sun hat. It's clear that she's at some sort of like beach bar. You know what I'm talking about? Made entirely out of like tiki, essentially. Recording the message for you. The trade junket appears to be going extremely well. She doesn't say anything affectionate to you, but she does report in on all her activities. You see a number of Draconis Combine nobles and military officers whom would normally never be caught on camera with anything less than full traditional honors. You know, solid faces showing no emotion. Everyone here is super fucking drunk from both factions.
Oh.
Like the Federated Sons faction and the Draconis Combine faction, they are totally drunk.
Awesome.
Everybody's super smashed. Your wife appears to be the only one capable of full sentences.
That's
In the
Pretty
background,
smashed.
you can see her bodyguard just like adjusting his sunglasses, looking around. Only person out in a full suit. For what you know, Delacruz is a desert planet. So on top of it already being super fucking hot, he's at a beach. Hotter. All right. Full suit. Hottest. I mean, this guy, the suit is basically just sweat with a color on it. But he's doing his job.
I think like Kuro, as he watches the message, is like, he's got the stuff.
That's it.
Yeah, I think
Things do not get closer with you and your wife.
yeah.
It's all business.
Oh well.
Lachlan, do we have something? I feel like we were going around the table to come back to you.
Yeah, we can do that.
You're going to Angelique. Yes.
Latour. Want to see if we can mend some fences.
Okay. Her estate, she invites you to it, is rather shabby compared to everybody else's. Quite a bit smaller. Just basically like a large house, essentially, not even at a mansion level. What does surprise you is that there's a huge amount of businesses located on her grounds. So, like, there's an entire long-haul trucking company that operates out of her mansion, essentially. There are a lot of helicopters here that appear to be like paramedic brand helicopters and contracts, that sort of thing. And you see 4 Warrior H7 helicopters, which you know to be her military force, essentially. One of them has Angel painted on the side of it, and basically like Angelique's face raising up an arm towards the heavens. Like, someone has clearly like drawn her as an angel on the side of her own helicopter. Audrey comes to meet you. I'm sorry, Angelique comes to meet you. She is looking kind of pale. It seems in the last few months she's gone with a sort of goth look. Darkened her hair, paler skin, darker clothing, more conservative cut in some ways, but also a sort of lacy frill onto it that you know is very popular in the Combine.
Sure.
I'm not one for formalities. Lachlan, why don't you just come inside? Let's sit down and have some tea.
Sounds excellent.
So there's no grace in her marching. She's just straightforward in every single way.
Lachlan, Lachlan will follow her in, and he'll say, I've never been to your home before. You've got quite an impressive enterprise going on here.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to set up an outdoor area for the Kerensky Ball this year, but I knew what I was getting into.
Of course.
Seems like there's going to be some big announcements at the ball this year, so you should definitely attend.
Oh, what makes you say that?
She just doesn't say anything.
Well, like, he'll just kind of raise an eyebrow.
As you sit down at a table with some tea, she says, have you seen a Kerensky Ball in the last 4 years that hasn't been filled with startling revelations?
Fair enough. And who knows, I may try to get everyone together to talk before the Senate session once again. I found that worked out well. Productive.
She said you said it non-sarcastically, and she said it sarcastically.
Yeah.
Which is weird because she got what she wanted out of it.
So then I think Lachlan will just be like, you don't think it went well for you?
Not everyone got a piece of the pie, Lachlan.
That's not what it's about. It's about everyone benefiting in the tide that lifts all boats, Angelique. And I believe
some boats are sinking.
Is that so?
Takes a sip of her tea.
That's why I'm here today. It's clear to me that you have a perspective that I lack at the moment. I can't say I fully understand the moves you've made, Angelique. And so I
she's
figure
so
I should
pissed when you say that. So upset. Maybe you don't have any idea why, but she's very upset when you say that.
Okay. So like, so like as he sees that, he'll just like continue on. He'll just say, so why don't you enlighten me? What am I missing?
You know, there are a lot of people that say that I don't know what I'm doing and I don't understand what's going on, but I think I have better perspective than a lot of people think.
I agree. That's why I'm here.
She just gives you an odd look and says, look, I did what I thought was right, and I backed Jasper Hiroka to help the people of this planet, and it cost me a lot of money. Money is power on Whittington. You know what? Now I need a little bit of the slice of the pie, and Jacobson has been willing to cut me in on some deals as part of the spaceport building, so I appreciate that I'm getting the trickle down from your noblesse oblige. But I'm trying to keep the largest portion of the planet's workers employed.
The employment of the planet's workers is an issue that is near and dear to me. I hope that I have made that clear in the last few
I'll tell you,
years, but
unemployment is down, and it's mostly because of my actions. I want to get that as close to zero as possible. We can be doing more to support the population.
It makes me interested to hear that you wouldn't be more wouldn't have been more supportive of what I was proposing last year then.
I was
Seems
supportive
that
of
we
what you
have-
did last year. I voted for it, didn't I?
Oh, well, after we made sure that you got your piece, as you say. So,
I need
Let's-
that money to keep the companies running.
Angelique, it seems that the two of us are on different pages. I think we're talking past each other. You seem to think I am here to coerce or cajole you into doing something. I'm here
I've heard
to see
things,
if we
Lachlan,
can
about how
work.
you do business.
I don't know who's trying to slander me, but the fact of the matter is that if I were that person that you seem to think I am, I wouldn't be here right now having this conversation. I think it's clear from the last few years that I could operate without you if I really wanted to. I don't want to. That's why I'm here. I want to work with all of the barons of Whittington. You are a baron who I have not been able to work with. However, I've also, in our non-infrequent disagreements, come to see that you are much more focused on the bigger picture than most everyone else, even when we don't agree on what that bigger picture should be. I am not such a shallow person that I need sycophants that only agree with me.
Okay. Based on something you said at the start of that paragraph, I would like you to make a negotiation roll.
Sure.
You have introduced to her a new perspective she hadn't considered.
Gotcha.
And this is not to seal the whole deal here. This is to change her attitude towards you.
She thinks that Lachlan is not worth having a serious conversation with, and
Correct.
like I think that that's a reasonable.
Well, she thinks it's
assumption.
serious enough to bring you in here, but her idea of who you are has been skewed. So,
So
you
that's a
needed 12.
That was a 7, and my negotiation. I don't think I have negotiation. I have leadership, I have protocol and politics, but I don't have negotiation. So I'm just +3, which would be a 10.
It's going to bring you short.
What do you need?
I need a 12.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So I could always spend a couple points to buy. That's
Go
too
experience.
late. It's too late to buy shit up.
I'll
I
allow
should've
for,
done
I'll
that
allow for
already.
it.
All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and spend a point to buy negotiation.
Okay.
Or 2 points, right? To take it to 1 would be 2 points,
Yeah.
I believe.
yeah.
Yep. So I'll spend that. And that will give me
You're one short now.
1 short. And what I will do is I will re-roll my 2.
Yep.
With my
Spending that point
second
edge. Nope.
Nope.
Rip.
You tried. Came so far and fought so long, but in the end, it didn't really matter.
So tell me what this failure looks like. Is this just Latour just shutting the door in his face? Just being
No,
like,
the failure for your part, unfortunately, is that nothing happens. She doesn't shut you out, but she also does not improve her. You open up an option for improvement of viewpoint, and instead her viewpoint remains the same.
yeah, sure. Did she respond anyway? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think she responds by saying, well, that's an interesting way of looking at yourself and what you've done.
I can see that you're unconvinced. That's fine. People do not become allies overnight.
I'm
Angelique.
willing to talk to you if you're willing to talk to me, because there's not a lot of people out here talking to me despite best efforts. What are you proposing?
I am proposing that we open that kind of diplomatic relationship. We make it more clear that we are willing to work with each other instead of putting up walls to keep us apart. I can tell you that I haven't had much of an issue having people talk to me, and I'd be more than happy to do what I can to make sure that they talk to you as well.
Well, I'll tell you what
I'm
Lachlan,
proposing is we work towards a working relationship.
Yeah, I want you to come out in support of the Federalist Party. A lot of what you've done is aligned with our goals. You went on a little war party rampage there for a while, but I'm willing to overlook that.
I can consider your offer, but there are a few things that we need to be clear on if I'm going to be coming out in favor of any party. First, I want to talk about the fact that the Federalist Party doesn't seem very unified, especially around the particular personage of Sebastian Bassett.
Sebastian is a recent joinee, and he's certainly not our leader. We're a loose group of those who are aligned by a resistance to war.
It seems to me that the people pulling the most economic and social power in your group are, to put it politely, at each other's throats. Am I wrong?
There are disagreements, but it's a big tent.
The tent seems to be on fire when von Hohenheim and Bassett are as opposed as they are.
I'm not sure I would call John a Federalist anymore. No one's really sure what she and her husband are up to.
I can perhaps give you a window into that. Here's where I'm at, Latour. I am not prepared to throw my lot back in with Bassett just yet. I
didn't realize that you weren't together with him anymore.
I thought the last vote made that clear.
I mean, one vote compared to years of public-private support?
I'm still perfectly happy to work together with Bassett, but it seems clear to me, based on the last vote, that certain recent events have caused him to lose his way.
She seems surprised to hear this. Well, if I learned nothing else today, that was interesting.
I'm interested why you are so confident in Sebastian Bassett that you were willing to give him unilateral investigatory powers indefinitely and without any seeming narrow scope.
When I became a baron, Sebastian was the only one who bothered to reach out and talk to me. Everyone else ignored me. Even my friends in the peace faction thought of me as little more than a nuisance. Sebastian is the only person on this planet taking me seriously. I have more people to take care of than anyone but the Countess on this planet. And your mockery of my house is a mockery of these people. I am angry, not just for me, but on their behalf. Look at what it takes to get you to sit at a table with me after years.
I want to point out, Angelique, you didn't reach out to me either. The work I've done, the connections I've made, I've had to scrap for them the same way you are scrapping for everything that you've got now as well. So.
Okay, make another negotiation roll. That's another chance
wait for you to burn your
mind.
edge and get a worse result on the dice. Anyways.
Wow.
Yep.
And the dice are just not rolling in our favor.
This went about as well as expected.
My last edge. I'll throw my last edge here.
Okay.
We need a 8 or better.
Nope.
Oh, God damn it.
Short.
Once again, you presented a new perspective to her, and you're just so close to convincing her and you don't.
And I think maybe like Lachlan is a for all that he's up his smelling his own farts all the time. He is like pretty socially astute. So I think like at that moment, like when he sees that he's like almost there, but like isn't quite pushing the ball over the goal line, he'll like kind of like push back his chair and be like, "Why don't we leave it there, Angelique? I can see you're not convinced yet, and that's fine. We'll get there. I want to say this, and before I go, you've opened my eyes as well. You've shown me a new perspective, and I apologize for what you perceived as disdain and which I now am seeing was easily perceived as that. I apologize for my actions. I apologize for leaving you out in the cold these years. And I will work towards making sure that I can show you that these aren't empty words and that I am going to make a change to see that it doesn't happen in the future. I'll take my leave now if you don't mind.
She seems baffled by your words and let you go.
Yeah, well, like, I think he's got that, we talked about how he's got a little hat that he's been wearing so that he has something to like put on when he can like leave. So yeah, he puts on his hat and heads out the door.
We're gonna have to get all your, but we're not doing the comment.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all good. I will say that whether we do it this session or next session, maybe when like it might make sense to do it during the training, but Kuro will be approaching Audrey for sure.
So let's say it's the day before the training, and Audrey she invites you to her mansion, where she is working with her techs on fixing her aerospace fighter.
And remind me the name of the new war faction. What they call it?
The Robinsonists, which are named after the planet Robinson, which is where the House Sandoval, who rules the Draconis March, so the Federated Sons is divided into different military borders called marches, and the Sandoval family controls Robinson, which is the center point of the Draconis March. So like the anti-Karita.
That's so hard to say.
Robinsonists?
Robinsonists?
Yeah, okay.
The Robinsonites would be better.
Robinsonites. Yeah, that would be easier.
Yeah.
Robinsites. The Robinites.
The Ravenites, yeah.
The Ravenites. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Curl will, I guess, come into the entryway as they're I guess guided in. Yeah, I guess set the scene for me, like where
you're in the aerospace version of a Battletech hangar.
Okay.
Battlemech hangar. She's in a flight suit, essentially, directing techs to like remove tags from arming weapons, pulling things out that would prevent the craft from working. So all of the safety tags. So she's getting ready to fly this thing later.
I think Kuro will also be in his Battletech suit. So
you're wearing shorts and a cooling vest then.
Is that really all?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
You could also have your neuro helmet, but the thing is like a 6 foot tall bucket that goes on your shoulders, covers your head. It's up to here.
Well, okay, so
not something you walk around in. You can't move your head when it's turned on, so you can't look left and right. So, I mean, traditionally it's left in your Battletech cockpit, and you just put it on, and now you can't move your head for the rest of the day.
So, okay, so ultimately my goal was to, I was like, this is like the day before, so we're all training and prepping and all that kind of stuff, and so whatever I would be in my like attire as I'm walking around the hangar.
So probably not a giant.
No.
But yeah, so you're in short shorts and a cooling vest.
I'll rock that shit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I mean, you know, I got some nice thighs. Anyway, yeah. So
wow, you think very highly of yourself, don't you?
I mean,
He's got that military bod.
That's true. That's true.
You know, intelligence officers got to go through some stuff. You know. because you don't know what they're going to get themselves
So
into.
Audrey sees you coming over and
Yep.
eyes you to let you know that she's seen you, but she's obviously still in the busy doing something. But after she finishes yelling at techs to do things that they already know how to do, but everything must be done formulaically as aerospace fighters work that way.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% like protocol wise, learning also from the space station, like waiting until she acknowledges me and then comes to me.
Yep, she heads over to you.
Busy, day before battle, always. Thank you once again for putting on this training scenario. I am excited to test my militia and soldiers at arms.
I'm just refereeing. Yeah, I mean, technically, we're all paying for it, so you better enjoy it.
No, I that may have been just me misunderstanding. I thought she was coordinating it, and
She is coordinating it, and she's acting as the referee for all of these.
Oh, got it. Okay, I thought she was like she set up the scenario.
Yes.
Like, with
yep. She did set up the scenario.
Okay.
But she's not personally going out to do these things.
Right. She's not part of it. Right.
Yeah, she's just watching you guys from above, and she's gonna tag you with lasers and be like, "All right, you're out. You've taken enough damage."
Right.
Stuff like that.
Of course, but either way, I wish to talk to you of something a bit more relevant to the Robinsonian. No, the
Robinsonists.
Robinson. That this is why it's gonna be so hard for me, just as a player. Sorry, the Robinson.
You can just call them the Rose.
The Rose faction. That's gonna be so much easier for me. Yes,
she rolls her eyes at you in character.
Yes, I was curious more of the Rose faction. If the tabloids are to be believed, it seems that they have grouped me with you, regardless of what Genji believes.
She turns to look at you and says, "So you're not with us?"
That is not true.
So you are with us.
I am with you.
Then what's all this about the tabloids?
I suppose it is a point of tension for myself and my wife.
I mean, she looks you over like fuck you and your wife. I mean, just to be clear, she's no fan of Jana, so.
Right, yeah. Yes. Well, anyway, I thank you for talking with Genji. I know that the last conversation we had about before the Senate meeting last year wasn't necessarily my best.
Sure. Look, the thing to recognize about Genji is that he's upset with Jasper on my behalf. And he's upset with all of you because you can't seem to figure out whether the Draconis Combine is our enemy or our ally.
I see.
We have a clarity of focus. We know who our enemies are.
That does help sometimes.
Yeah, this peace is not going to last forever.
On that note, I was curious if you have any recent intelligence of your eyes in the sky. Have they seen anything heading towards Whittington?
I mean, certainly there have been an uptick in mercenary dropships. Trade is up. I hear that there might be some military funding pumped into us in the late summer. It's coming down the line. You looking for a specific dropship in particular? I know that Lachlan has that thing with that woman.
Wait, are you talking about her wife? Or
no, the other one.
Ah.
The Moritomo woman. You know, yes. The one he was dancing with?
Yes. It seems though that has boiled, if anything.
Yeah, I've seen how relationships work. I have a bit of experience with someone flipping relationship statuses.
Ah, yes.
He and Haru could get back together tomorrow, and I really would not be shocked. The man sleeps with people who aren't his wife, apparently, so.
Relationships can be tricky. I can understand.
Yeah, she's basically putting Lachlan and Jasper on blast in front of you.
Yeah. And I'm not going to defend them because they both deserve the blast.
That's not true. Lachlan only slept with people before he was married.
Yes, that was her point, though. You sleep with people who you aren't married to.
Not once he's married.
I want to remind you that Robinsonists are at least vaguely Catholic, so.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of. I'm never very good with words, but you've helped me in the past, and I want to thank you for that.
She gives you a head nod.
Would you like to get drinks later? I wish to talk to you privately about some things.
It would have to be very private. I think it would be...
I agree.
Sorry. No, sorry. She says, I think it would have to be very public.
That's fine.
It would be unwise for an unmarried woman like myself to meet with someone so fraught with tabloids looking after his relationship with his wife. I'm doing this for your benefit as much as mine.
I agree. It is not meant to be something. I can't think of the word as a player, but like solicit is. I can't think of the word.
Okay, she proposes to go to like a noble restaurant, very public. There would be no question that the two of you are meeting, you know, semi-formally, someplace where the waiters know not to get too close while you're having a conversation.
Yes. It has been some time since I've been to that place.
Yeah, La Trattatoria.
La Trattatoria.
Italian United Kingdom fusion.
Very traditional. Very traditional. Thank you.
Do we cut to that scene now? You're having dinner with her?
No.
Okay.
I think we'll cut there and because and I'll just say fly safe tomorrow, and we'll do it like after the battle or something.
All right. So everybody gets 3 XP. We're right here at the end of the session. I want to offer you a glimpse at your opposing forces, which will be a awesome, an enforcer, 2 infantry platoons, LRM carrier, and a bulldog tank. Your objective is to capture the mobile HQ unit being run by Major Garcia. You will be provided with your mechs, including an Atlas, a Raven, a Grasshopper, a Black Knight, 4 infantry platoons.
Yeah.
Dope.
Should be noted that infantry platoons are very bad.
Gonna be a party. We're gonna kill them all.
I mean, the question is, should I have brought the fire starter? No.
Fire starter would be highly effective against the infantry.
Which I don't know if I want to. I mean, because
it's all powered down.
Battle, right?
Your weapons are all at the lowest possible settings, and no one will die here.
Yeah. Okay. Noted. That would be so terrible. Just
wait, like even so it couldn't be like what Eric said, where it's like an accident and someone gets headshotted. And
I mean, the only thing that isn't powered down is like punches and stuff.
Got it.
So like if you punched the awesome in the head and you killed the pilot would actually be dead.
So probably would be rude to do that.
Not particularly. Like, it's an accepted risk as part of training, right? In the same way that having to go onto, you know, any military training field where they're firing bullets over your head, right? There's always the risk that for some reason a bullet drops or somebody lowers the barrel of the gun while they're shooting.
Gotcha. Cool.
What's that Starship Trooper scene where the guy stands up without a helmet? You didn't have permission to take off your helmet. Any post-episode notes?
No, good stuff. I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
man,
same.
me too. You know, I think Kuros is having lady woes wherever he goes, regardless of what's going on.
We've had 6 sessions since a fight.
Isn't it sad that your relationship with Audrey is better than your relationship with Jana at this point?
I mean, that's kind of why I'm going to her. As
Don't worry. The more time you spend with Audrey, the more she'll dislike you.
I love this show,
Yeah,
man.
right.
I love it. I love it so much. It's like 2 hours of just sheer joy every Sunday. I love it.
Glad you're having fun.
It's a good time.
Especially since it was a bad episode for you overall. Like,
Yeah, of course.
well,
I'm
look,
like,
having a daughter, of course, is great, but also having an heir that can't pilot a battlemech, that's tough.
yeah, but I'll have good episodes in the future. Like that's why I play this game. I'm fine with it.
I mean, that's why we play role-playing games, right? Because, you know, sometimes you just got to go with the failure.
Yeah, I like failure.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's kind of where I'm like, what do I do? Relationships are tough.
The Immortal Warrior will return next week. That's like, we try this again. So one thing to note is that this is Oath of Endosteel. My other Battletech group, A Time of Total Warfare, is ending. We're starting our final arc. The series will complete with slightly less than 100 episodes, slightly less than 3 years. Eric will be joining us in like a week or two, mid-battle, as his character Mozzie. I don't know if you watched the last episode, Eric, but Mozzie was in a film called Cade's War, which is the Saving Private Ryan of the Clan Invasion.
Perfect.
He played Cade in Cade's War.
Oh,
It was a war. Cade's War. You know how it goes. So consider checking that out. Does anyone else have any projects they want to announce before we...
Same old for me.
Okay.
good.
You can find us all at the places we do things. Have a good afternoon.